right, so we've got a couple of minutes. Sometimes people join in right on time. It looks like we're going to have a small group today, which is perfectly fine. Today is a nice, little bit of a cloudy Saturday, great day to do some yin. And a little refresher for those of you coming to the practice. You're starting to get familiar with the different styles of yoga. But yin is a less active practice, more grounding, typically more seated postures, deeper holds, anywhere from 30 seconds to up to 5 minutes. And you've probably heard me say this, some you will love, some you'll grow to love, and some you may never love. But it's a good opportunity for you to really kind of have that more intuitive breathing connection with your body. Really nice way to ground and center for the day. So I like doing yin on a Saturday morning. I think it's perfect. So if you haven't already checked your emails, so a strap or a belt or anything like that, a folding chair or small chair and a couple of blankets would be ideal. Make sure you have some hydration handy as you move through your practice. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to need today. So it looks like it's Gail, Rita, and Marie and myself. So just a nice small group today, but we're going to make it a good one. So once you have those things situated, go ahead and have them handy. And we're actually just going to start our practice on the chair. So you can go ahead and get comfy on your chair. And then have those things available as you need them. And Gail asked if we would be using blocks. She said she doesn't have blocks, but she does have some heavy books. Have that available for you. I don't have it, that's not really part of the sequence today, but that might come in handy in your practice. But again, having things available is nice. Doesn't mean we'll always use them, but you know. All right. So having that blanket and the strap available. And then go ahead and get comfy on your chair. It looks like we're, I think, on time. Yep. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I found these really cool books. I was going to do a class shout out. Before we were in the studio, we used to do birthdays and celebrate the birthdays. And when we had our park practice, there were so many people coming and going. It made it difficult to maintain people's birthdays and who, when the class changed from size and people from park day to park day. But now that we're back in the studio, we have a pretty steady group of people that have been following. I'd like to go ahead and bring the birthdays back. So that means you don't have to tell me how old you are, just knowing what day your birthday is on and making that day special, because you all are very special to me. And it's important, I think, to celebrate birthdays because, hey, life is a celebration. Anyway, to make a short story very long, I found these really neat books and they're all different. They're very optimistic. They have a good read, just a short read for each day. So just kind of, sometimes if you're in a slump, you just pull that book out and you just let it follow the page that you need to, and you read something, and sometimes it's exactly what you need to read. So these will be little gifts I'll be giving out along with chocolate on your birthday. It's just another way to say thank you for supporting our group and know that you're very special to me. So if I have your birthday, that's great. If you want to be added to the birthday list and I don't have your birthday, you don't have to tell me how old you are, just the day is fine. Get that to me through email, text, phone, whatever, and I'll add you to the list and we'll start celebrating birthdays. So that's what's going to be added. So I found a nice passage today that I'm going to read, and so just give you a little bit of a teaser of kind of what's in there. So yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. So I thought that was just kind of a sweet and special way to start a Saturday. So really fun things in there. If I have your birthday, then we can celebrate it. If you choose not to have your birthday, that's okay too. I'm good either way. So we're going to come into our practice and make sure you have some support on your back. If you do have a cold, if it's a metal type chair, make sure you have some blanket or something to comfort your body if it is cooler in your room. So being comfortable is very essential today. And go ahead and just take a nice bend to the knees. And again, we're just starting our practice, so it doesn't have to look like anything. Just kind of get comfy in your space. Take a few moments here, begin to feel the sensation of your feet pressing into the earth. So getting that sense of grounding. Elbows are resting underneath the shoulders and your palms can be up or down. So again, finding that just right placement for your hands and for your arms, just finding that space. And then in time, begin to allow your eyes to soften and close. Begin to close off outside distractions and draw your awareness inward. As you begin to draw your awareness inward, begin to focus on your breath at this moment. So just noticing how your breath is moving through your body, not changing your breathing pattern, just watching and observing your breath as it moves in and out. And as you begin to become aware of your breath, begin to allow your breath to slow and deepen. Become more consciously aware of how you're breathing as you drop the breath a little deeper into the base of the lungs, Begin to expand the intercostal muscles from side to side, front to back. Breathe from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Take a pause here and then release that breath completely. So moving through a few rounds of this guided awareness breathing. So really becoming aware of that very strong interconnection between breath and body. So just breathing into the body, feeling all the spaces of body move and expand to create more space, and then releasing that breath. So just moving through a few rounds here. Giving yourself some time to center, to ground. 3 more rounds of breath, really letting your breath move you deeper into your practice. Last 3, last 2, and last breath. Let's go ahead and bring palm to palm compression at the heart space, letting the thumbs rest lightly in the sternum, drawing the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Let your shoulders soften down your back and begin to bow your chin toward your heart space, honoring this practice, the time you've created for yourself. And this is a time for the next hour or so that you give back to yourself completely. If you don't give back to yourself, you can't give to others. And I know all of you are very generous in nature and you give so much, but you can't do that if you don't give to yourself. So this is the time to give back to ourselves. We'll take 3 breaths at heart space, taking a pause here. And if you'd like to set an intention for this practice, for your day, for the week end, now's an opportunity to create one. An intention is anything meaningful to you. Gets your mind focused, your body balanced, maybe it's energy, vitality, maybe it's calming down. So whatever it is you're seeking, you'll create this here today. Take 1 more breath at heart space, breathe in. And as you exhale, send a ripple of goodness out into the world. That felt so good. Let's go ahead and do 2 more. Inhale, drawing in the positivity. And exhale, sharing that positivity. Last one here, drawing in. And exhale, release it out, let it go. Go ahead and bring your chin back to center, take a gaze to your eyes. Keep the palm to palm compression. Inhale, draw the hands up through the midline. Take a pause here. Let your shoulders melt down your back as you reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Take a pause here and exhale, release. Celebrate the beginning of a beautiful weekend. We'll take 2 more. Inhale, drawing up. Pause here, opposition of motion. Fingertips reach up toward the ceiling, shoulders melt down. And exhale, celebrate. Last one here. Make sure to go through the midline, hit that heart space, get that good energy, and exhale, let's fall out to the side. Good. We're going to start by crossing the right leg over the left. I was doing my own right leg. I'm mirroring today. And then we'll cross the ankle over the left leg. So we have the right leg crossed over the left. And just take a moment here and just begin to press evenly between the ball and the heel. You'll feel that natural arch in the sole of the foot. The more you press evenly between the ball and the heel, the more you'll recreate that natural arch in the sole of the foot. Dry those toes out, get some spaces in between the toes, and breathe. And then we're going to go ahead and widen the spaces in between our fingers. We're going to lace the fingers in between the toes, and sometimes that can take a little bit of work there to get there. Once you have that, go ahead and take a nice tight grip, and then let your ankles just begin to soften. And then your ankles are completely soft, so there's no muscular activation in your ankle. You're using all of the integrity that's happening in your arm as you begin to create some circles both clockwise and counterclockwise. So the ankle is just nice and soft, and then go the other direction. It doesn't have to help. You're just doing all the actions taking place right in the wrist. So it's driving that motion. And then taking some flexion as you draw your toes toward your body and away. Good. And then go ahead and release. Go ahead and palm your hand and place it on the sole of the foot and equal pressure. So as you press the sole of the foot into your hand, you're pressing your palm into the sole of your foot. And release. I'm going to take a few moments here to just allow this right hip to release a little bit here. And then as you continue to breathe into this, if you'd like to add a little bit more activation into the opening of the right hip, you begin to bring your hands onto that front shin and begin to slowly begin to round over that bent leg. So again, you can take this as deep or as shallow as you need to. If you find you come into this position and something just doesn't feel quite right, then stay in that upright space. So again, any space you come to is exactly where you need to be today. And this is where sometimes the blocks can come in handy if you wanted to come a little bit deeper. So option to bring the floor to your body. Again, if you don't have blocks, that's okay. So you just take your practice as deep as you need to. Maybe to the back of your chair is fine. So a little bit longer hold time as we come into our yin. You can be upright or you can begin to round over that leg, finding that just right depth for your body. Let your head relax. What about 5 more rounds of breath here. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you, Brandon, go ahead and come into that upright space and we'll uncross. Go ahead and extend a leg or two out. And we'll come right back into that nice 90-degree bend of legs-ish. We go ahead and cross the left leg this time over the right. Take a pause here and just allow that ankle to cross over the right leg. And then you can either lightly place your hand on the inner line leg, just encourage the opening, but don't force that leg down. Just kind of work with your body here and breathe. Take a few pause here and then begin to press evenly between the ball and the heel. And as you do that, it's creating a natural arch in the foot. Now we do this a lot in standing, just because it's really good about recreating the arch of the foot. You've heard of people that are flat-footed, this is going to help with that. So help you to keep that natural arch in the sole of the foot. Once you've done that, spread your toes nice and wide. Get a nice stretch across the sole of the feet. Go ahead and relax. Widen out the spaces between your fingers and then go ahead and interweave those between your toes. And sometimes this can be a challenge, but it's a good one. I want to let your ankle just become flat. Let it relax. And then begin to make some circular rotations. But your arm is the driving force. Your ankle is nice and relaxed. You're doing all the muscular integrity tapping right in that arm. Go ahead and reverse. So let that ankle relax. Sometimes it's really hard to do. It wants to help, it doesn't need to. And then we'll come into some flexion by drawing the toes toward the body and away. Go ahead and make your palm nice and flat. Go ahead and press the sole of the foot. You can go ahead and relax the arch in the ball of the foot a little bit. And then by equal pressure, as you press the sole of the foot into your palm, equal pressure. So taking a few rounds of breath here. And then release. We're going to sit nice and tall in our bodies. Option here to come into that forward fold as you bend over the bent knee. This will intensify that stretch in the left hip. Again, if it's too intense for you, you can certainly stay upright. You're still getting all the benefits. So a different variation of reclined pigeon. We're just doing it in a chair. Inhale, creating the space, and as you exhale, round over that leg. Again, option here to grab onto the back of the chair if you have that option in your chair. Or if you have blocks, you can place your hands on the block. So again, going as deep as you feel you need to today. Breathe into every part of this practice. So even if you know you can go deeper, give yourself some time to breathe into it. Always a really good way to connect breath and body to go into those nice deep spaces. And counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and release. We'll bring it right back to center. If you need to stretch a leg or two out, go ahead and take that time to do that. We're going to move into the upper body just a bit. Once you've gotten all that out of your system, we'll sit nice and tall, so no slouching. Nice and tall in the spine. We'll go ahead and bring the right arm out, palm facing upward. And then we'll place the left arm out, palm facing upward. Go ahead and rotate your palms down and up. We're just going to do this a couple of times, just feeling that rotation of the shoulders. Good. We'll go ahead and leave the palms down. We're going to cross the right arm over the left. We're going to then begin to bring that left palm facing upward. We're going to bend the elbow and draw it in toward the body. So you're moving your right arm diagonally across your body, and it's allowing that right shoulder blade to roll back and down. So it's up here around that ear. See if it'll let it melt down your back. So we've got a little longer hold time here as we breathe. Let that right shoulder blade just melt down your back. So this is helping to guide that motion of releasing back and down. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Bring your arms wide out to the side. We'll cross the right arm over the left. Place your hands on your shoulders, and again, allow those shoulders to melt down your back. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Open your heart, open your mind. Good. Bring it right back to center and hands come down. Bring the arms out once again, palms facing upward and down. Just do this a couple of times. Go ahead and bring the palms down. Begin to cross the left arm over the right diagonally. Begin to flip the right palm up, bend the elbow and draw it toward the body. Allow your left shoulder blade to melt down your back. So it's not up here, just let it come all the way back down. The longer hold time here is to give ourselves some time and opportunity, let those shoulders just melt. And breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and mindfully release. Open your heart, open your mind, open your body. Nice big open arms. Welcome Saturday. Here I come. Left arm crosses over, right, placing the hands on the shoulders, and then letting those shoulders just melt down your back. You're up here in time. Allow that light weight of your hands on your shoulders to give them direction to move down and back. And breathe. Elbows across lightly over the heart space. Feel that energy of the heart. Feel the rhythm of your heart beating. Love, kindness, and compassion for yourself and others. Giving yourself a nice warm embrace. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Open your heart, open your mind, send that energy out, arms up overhead. Take a pause here as the fingertips reach up toward the ceiling, shoulders melt down your back, and right back down to heart space. Good. Hopefully you guys have a strap. Some of you joined us a little bit later. So again, the props are folding chair, obviously, and a strap, and then a couple of blankets. So hopefully you have those things ready. Otherwise, you can run and grab those as we move to the next part of the practice. All right, we'll go ahead and be using the strap for the next part. We're going to move into a variation of Padangusthasana. So we're going to start by beginning to bend the right knee and placing the strap in the arch of the foot. We're going to extend that leg out. So we've done this one before where we're standing. A little bit different when you have props to support your body. So we're using the chair as a prop so we can get the spine nice and long here. You can even bring your back up alongside the back of the chair. Just encourage the spine to lengthen. Shoulders are rolling back and down, and we're pressing evenly between the ball and the heel. So getting that nice opening in the back line of the leg. And breathe. If you find these times of stillness, you can always go recite your intention over and over, just giving yourself a little infusion of positivity. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to take the strap now in the right hand. We're going to begin to open up that leg to the side. So you want your hips to stay as grounded as you're able. Just going to work with your body here. You might need to adjust a little bit. Try not to take any undue tension in the head, neck, and shoulders. And keep pressing out through the ball and the heel. So a little different feeling in our bodies when we change the gravitational force, direction of our bodies. So kind of a neat way to practice different ways. I like the chair. I think it's kind of a neat way to do it. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center, placing the strap in both hands. Pause here. And then we'll place the strap in the left hand. You go ahead and place your right thumb in the crook of your right hip, drawing it slightly away. And then inhale, exhale, cross it over the midline. And breathe. So as you move this, different areas of the body, you might be feeling this a little bit differently than you do when you normally practice this reclined. So if for any reason you find any discomfort or pain in your body as you move through this practice, go ahead and omit those parts. Maybe breathe and try to come back into it. If it just doesn't work, then just don't do it. So the most important thing in your yoga practice is to respect your body and really pay attention, because your body lets you know if it's liking something or not. So really have that mindful connection with your body. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll bring it right back to center. And then mindfully release, bend that knee and release the strap. Need to kind of shake a leg or two out. Go ahead and shake a leg or two out. We're going to go do the same thing on the other side. So placing that strap in the arch of the left leg, and go ahead and extend that leg out. Now, if you're not as high up as I am, you're maybe down a little bit lower, that's okay. So again, adapting your practice to what works best for your body. And then once you have that, letting your shoulders melt down your back, pressing evenly between the ball and the heel. Finding your tailbone rooted into your chair, not slouching, sit nice and tall. So nice, good posture here. If you get nothing out of your yoga practice, you'll have an amazing posture, which I know you guys all do. I've watched your bodies change and Sometimes I feel like I have the best seat in the house when I'm in front of the room, so I get to see all your beautiful practices. You guys look fabulous. Keep that breath flowing. Try not to take any undue tension in the head, neck, and shoulders. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and place the strap now in the left hand. Go ahead and ground the chair or wherever you need to sometimes. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, go ahead and allow the left leg to come out to the side. And keep it nice and active. And breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring that leg right back to center. Strap in both hands, shoulders melting down your back, spine is nice and tall. And then we'll go ahead and transfer the strap into the right hand, placing your left thumb in the crook of your left hip, drawing it slightly away. Inhale, exhale, go ahead and cross that leg over the midline and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and take it right back to center. Bend your knee and go ahead and release the strap. I'm going to go ahead and take a twist now on both sides. Just a really nice way to kind of loosen up the spine a little bit. And we're going to begin to bring it to the right side. Begin to bring your legs in a 90-degree bend, ankles underneath the knees. And go ahead and sit tall in your chair once again. Keep that tailbone rooted. Take a breath here as you breathe from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Get nice and along the spine. And as you exhale, begin to rotate toward the back of your chair. It's got a little bit of adjustment there. It's pretty darn good. And we'll use the chair to facilitate a deeper twist. So as you slightly begin to place your hands lightly on the back of your chair, you can begin to deepen that twist as you need to. So twists are really good at moving toxins out of the body. They put leg compression on the kidneys and the liver, moving waste out and fresh blood and oxygen in. So twists are so good just for spinal mobility and also for beginning to bring the blood flow into those organs. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and take it back to center, and we'll walk over to the left side of our other chair. Finding that 90-degree bend. And bringing the tailbone down, get nice and tall on the spine. As you breathe, breathe from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head, and as you exhale, begin to rotate through the torso, finding the back of your chair. Oh, wow, so good. And the more that you choose to deepen into your twist, you can grab your hands lightly on the chair to facilitate just a little bit deeper twist. So again, breathe with your body, give yourself some time, let your shoulders be soft. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center. We're going to come to the edge of the chair. And then we're going to begin to come into a variation of Eagle Garudasana. So we're going to, again, that's where elevation can come in handy if you need it. And we'll start by crossing the right leg over the left. Now, if the toes don't come all the way to the floor, then you can just cross the right leg over the left. If you have a little bit more range of motion, you can begin to tuck the toes behind the left calf muscle. So now we have the lower body. We'll begin to bring the upper body into this. Bring the arms out to the side, a little internal and external rotation. Good. Inhale, draw the arms up overhead. Fingertips reach up toward the ceiling, your shoulders melt down your back. And as you exhale, begin to wrap the right arm under the left, either placing the hands on the shoulders once again or bringing the back of the hands together, coming into eagle arms. If you have the back of the hands coming together, try to visualize lining up the fingertips, the elbows, and the knees in one long line, Shoulders are melting down your back and you're rooted. So a little different variation to traditional eagle pose. You haven't done that before, I wish you do that. Other than the chair, I mean. And breathe. As you inhale, begin to deepen the spaces across the upper thoracic spine by drawing the fingertips closer up toward the ceiling until you find that just right space. So find that depth that you need today and breathe. Allow everything to just melt out of your body. Just let go. Even soften through the eyes here and just find that space and breathe. And then as you exhale, begin to draw the elbows toward the navel and then begin to round slightly over the knees. Let your head release. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center. Release the arms up overhead. Take a pause here. As you reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling, your shoulders melt down your back, opposition of motion, and then bring it right back down to heart space and release. So go ahead and shake a leg or two out. Just kind of let it release. If you want to make some butterflies in your chair, you can make some butterflies if that feels good. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center, this time crossing the left leg over the right, letting the toes gently rest on a block or alongside your body. If you have a little bit more range of motion, you can tuck those toes right behind the right calf muscle. I'm going to take a pause here, getting the lower body into this first. Make sure you have everything where you need to be. If you need to make adjustments, make adjustments. Release the arms to the side, internal, external rotation as you just kind of open up through the shoulders. The next time the palms come outward, inhale the arms up overhead. As you exhale, begin to wrap the left arm under the right, placing the hands either on the shoulders, letting them melt down your back, or bringing the back of the hands together. So either one is fine. If you bring the back of the hands together, reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling and begin to visualize the elbows, knees, and fingertips all in one long line. And breathe. As you begin to come into this practice, if you'd like to add more, begin to draw the fingertips closer toward the ceiling until you find that space that says it's just about right. And then continue to breathe into it. Keep that breath flowing. Good. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully begin to allow the elbows to come down toward the navel. Begin to reach the fingertips toward the earth, and then allow the upper body to round over the legs. So just a very soft, on your exhale, coming down. Let your head relax and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center and mindfully release arms up overhead and mindfully bring it right back down to center and then cross the legs. Good. We could probably do that one. All right. So we're going to begin to move into another variation of Gomukhasana or cow face pose. So again, kind of watch and see where your body is. If any of these don't work for you, then again, you can just kind of move with your body as best as you're able. First and foremost, making sure your body is, you're being aware of your body and what your limitations are. We're going to start by placing that strap over the right shoulder. And we're going to begin to walk the right leg over the top of the left leg. We're going to begin to walk the legs out to the side just a bit. So imagine if we were in a seated posture in cow face or Gomukhasana, same thing. The knees are stacked one on top of the other, and the feet are alongside the hips. So a little different variation when you're in a chair. So kind of get that spacing-ish. Good. And we're going to bring the upper body into this now. We're going to begin to bring the right arm out, palm facing up. We're going to bend the elbow and place it on the right shoulder blade. Internal rotation with the left arm, swing it behind the body. If you can reach the fingertips together, that's great. That's where you want to be. If you don't quite have that range of motion, you're still a little bit tight this morning, then the strap is there to help guide the fingertips closer together. As you come into this space, begin to root the tailbone down. In time, begin to allow the elbow to reach closer up toward the ceiling, and the arm is nice and close to the side. So upper body, lower body, getting lots of good stuff happening here, and breathe. So really try to find that space in your body, create it by breathing. So breathe into those spaces that are trying to open and release. So you breathe in to create space. And as you release the breath, there's a release, a surrender, and a letting go. So just letting that happen as it needs to. Eyes can be soft or closed here. A little longer hold time. You feel your jaw becoming rigid. See if you can relax your jaw a little bit. If there's any undue tension in your body, see if you can release it. So breathe, breathe, breathe. That's a beautiful way just to let things go. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one here. If you have the strap or your fingertips, you mindfully begin to release one, and then the other, little internal, external rotation, and we'll release. Go ahead and bring it back to center. If you need to kick a leg or two out, go ahead and do that. This time we'll begin to cross the left leg over the right, and then begin to walk the feet out to the side. So you want your feet about parallel with one another, so working toward that-ish. A little bit different, a little bit awkward when you're in a chair. So again, we're kind of improvising, just trying some different things to help practice. We'll begin to transfer the strap now over to the left shoulder. And we're going to start with our hands on the knee. Just take a moment here and see if you can kind of come into this. Again, if any part of your body is objecting, see if you can kind of find a little bit of ease or comfort. If it just doesn't work, then you can just do the upper body with this. So again, if the leg portion doesn't work, then just do the upper body. All right. We'll begin to inhale the left arm out, palm facing upward. Bend the elbow, place your palm on your left shoulder blade. Internal rotation with the right arm, begin to swing it behind the body, reaching for the fingertips. If you don't quite get there, then grabbing the strap and drawing the strap closer together to create a little bit more opening in upper thoracic spine. As you come into this practice, try to keep your gaze straight away and then not leaning to one side or the other, but trying to kind of find that nice central point. Elbows reaching up toward the ceiling as your arm is gently resting along the side of your body. So not forcing your arm into your head and neck, just trying to find an equal soft placement for that, and breathe. As you inhale, creating space. And as you exhale, find that depth. So that beautiful marriage of breath and body. Inhale, creating space, and exhale, find that depth, and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you have the strap, your fingertips, mindfully begin to release one and then the other. A little internal, external rotation and release. Go ahead and uncross the legs. And then we're going to come into a little bit of cat and cow on the chair. And I'll come to this, you can stay exactly where you are. I'm going to come to the side of the mat so you can kind of, or my chair, so you can kind of see where we're going with this. We're going to come into that 90-degree bend once again. Knee to ankle alignment-ish. And then we're going to sit nice and tall in the chair. So tailbone roots, neutral curve in the lumbar and the cervical spine. We're going to inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to release to the lower abdominals and then find that nice roundedness of the spine as you let your chin release toward your chest. And then inhale, direct the chest to the gate of the shoulders. Bring your gaze upward as you're able. Exhale, release, rounding through the spine, letting your belly hollow, bringing your chin toward your chest. Inhale, direct it through. So go ahead and move through a few rounds of cat and cow on your chair. Doesn't have to look just like mine. What we're looking for is to find a bit of a flow of breath and body. So really connecting that fluid movement, feeling the liberation of your spine, and just finding that space to move. Good. We've got about 5 more rounds here. You can really get those shoulders into it. It feels really good. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. And release. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and come into standing, and we're going to come back into some seated postures. But we're going to use the chair just to kind of get a nice down dog, which is a really nice way to come into a beautiful down dog without putting all the pressure on your wrist. So as we get older, especially if you do have a lot of fine motor skills, things that you do a lot with your wrists, your arms, your hands, get in there. So this is a really nice way to get that nice lengthening of the spine without putting any undue pressure on the wrist. We're going to come to standing right in front of the chair. We're going to come into our mountain pose Tadasana. Shoulders rolling back again, and I know your shoulders are rolling back again because we've worked a lot on that this morning, so I know you look fantastic. Reach the fingertips toward the earth, rotate your palms outward, open your heart as we come into Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, draw the arms up overhead. As you reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling, let your shoulders melt down your back. And as you exhale, bring the palms to heart space. Inhale up through the midline. As you exhale, release the palms, dive forward, come forward. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Let your gaze release toward your chair. And let the crown and the tailbone draw away from each other. So you might need to adjust your feet just a bit. And breathe. Good. Keep the breath flowing. We'll take one more breath here. And then we'll go ahead and step it back into downward facing dog. So again, you might need to kind of play with the placement of your feet. You can pause here, let your crown release toward the earth. Keep drawing that tailbone away. Light pressure with your hands on your chair. Shoulders are widening and rolling down the back, creating space for that spine to lengthen. And breathe. A little longer hold time here, really good for the hamstrings, really good for the spine. Mild inversion. And breathe. 5 rounds of breath here. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and come forward and bend the knees. We'll come into kneeling facing our chair. Bring another nice opener into the head, neck, and shoulders. As you come into kneeling, we're going to inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to release either the chin or the forehead to your chair. Starting first by putting the elbows, bending the arms and placing the elbows or the back of the arms right lightly on your chair. And then begin to release either the chin or your forehead toward your mat. Begin to place the palm to palm compression and go ahead and release that behind the back of the head and neck. So coming into prayer position. And then you can kind of walk your elbows away from your body, kind of come to that space that feels just about right for you. And breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and release the hands to the chair. And we're going to draw those sit bones back so we come into child's pose. Let your crown release down toward the earth. Feel the opposition of motion as you reach your fingertips toward the chair. Let your shoulders melt down your back. Slowly releasing the hips toward the heels. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, go ahead and bring it right back to center. You maybe need to walk a little bit closer toward your chair. We're going to begin to cross the right arm under the left. We're going to release that right shoulder blade toward our chair. This may or may not work depending on what type of a chair you have. We're going to send that left arm through. And release your head to the chair, maybe even placing a little bit of comfort or support. Won't be here for very long. Just another nice opener, mild twist here. And breathe. Inhale, go ahead and bend your right elbow, left elbow, place your palm into the chair and go ahead and drag that right arm out. We'll go ahead this time cross the left arm under the right, left shoulder blade comes down. And then go ahead and send that right arm through the chair and breathe. Go ahead and bend your right elbow, place the palm into your chair. Go ahead and slide that left arm right back to center. And then we'll go ahead and keep the hands on the chair. And then we're going to begin to bring the elbows onto the chair, and we'll step back with the right leg. Press out through the ball of the heel of the right foot, and then go ahead and place your hands on the back of the chair. Let your shoulders roll back and down and breathe. Try to square your hips slightly with the front of your mat or the chair and breathe. Option here to move a little bit deeper by bending the elbows, stacking the arms and resting the forehead or the chin on your bent arms. Let your shoulders roll back and down and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and step that back leg forward. Go ahead and bring the back of the hands to the chair once again, and we release. Big toes come together. Knees could be close together, wide apart, or somewhere in the middle. We're going to release the hips toward the heels. The longer hold time again as we let the head, neck, and shoulders release, coming into a variation of child's pose. And breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and bring it right back to center. Placing the hands on your chair, stepping back this time with the left leg, and then beginning to drop down to the elbows. Bring your palms together here if that feels good. Just take a moment or two, pressing out through the heel of the foot. Option here to bring the thumbs to the third eye position, or you can stack your arms and surrender completely, letting your forehead release toward your stacked arms. So a couple variations for upper bodies. So find the one that feels best to you and breathe. If you are coming into prayer position, try not to allow your shoulders to roll forward. Encourage your shoulders to roll back and down. The longer hold time here and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll go ahead and step forward. And again, we're going to release back into that child's pose. The big toes come together, knees can be close together, wide apart, somewhere in the middle. Bring the hands to the chair, and then begin to allow the head, neck, and shoulders to release. Option here, you place the elbows on the back of the chair, and then let your head release in between the arms. So again, option here to take it a little bit deeper into the upper body. If you want to come in prayer position, place the elbows on the end of your chair, and then letting your head fall in between your arms. And breathe. Keep your breath flowing. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Go ahead and come into one more downward facing dog. So starting with your hands on your chairs, tuck your toes, bend your knees, and send those sit bones up and back for downward dog. You might need to adjust your legs just a bit. Straighten out the arms, let your crown release completely, and breathe. And just feel it create the opening in the back, line the legs, draw the sit bones, away from the tailbone. Sorry, the sit bones away from the crown. Spine lengthens. Good. And breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll bend and come back into that kneeling position, and then we'll go ahead and begin to bring our legs right through the chair. We'll come into a forward fold. But before we come into a forward fold, we're going to get another nice stretch for the soles of the feet. Now, if you don't have a chair that has a bar across the back, then you can just take a pause here. For those of you that do, you can place, if your feet are the right length, sometimes they're not, you can place your toes right on that bar and then grab onto your chair. And then again, opposition motion. As you press your feet away, draw the chair toward your body. So you're going to feel a nice activation along the back line of the legs. Try not to round here. Help use the chair to guide your chest to the gate of the shoulders to create the length of the spine. So not, more like not this, but kind of drawing that chest to the gate of the shoulders. Good. And I know you guys look fantastic in your own practice. Keep your shoulders melting down your back. Good. Good opener for the back line of the legs. See where you can release a little bit. Keep the breath flowing. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. You're going to draw that chair closer toward the body. We're going to come into a forward fold. But I really like the chair as a forward fold because it really allows you just to melt. You're not putting as much awareness in the back line and legs. You can really come into a space that's a little bit more conducive for restfulness. So kind of that nice supported yin forward fold, almost moving toward a restorative. So when you're ready, root the tailbone down, inhale, lengthen long, and as you exhale, begin to bring the arms one at a time to the chair. And stack your arms and rest your head on your stacked arms. If that's not quite enough elevation, you can stack block, either if you have pillows, blankets, something like that to bring the elevation up as much as you need to. If you feel like you want a little bit more of a stretch, then you can begin to draw the chair away from your body, creating that just breath space for you. So a little longer hold time here. And if I get really quiet, it's because I walk around the room when I'm teaching because it keeps my game on. If I'm doing the yoga practice, I fall right into it. So hopefully I don't fall into my complete yoga zone here as I'm teaching because this feels pretty darn good to me right now. Keep your breath flowing. And just melt into this. This feels so good. If you've moved your head in one direction, you can go ahead and bring it to the other direction and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch the arms through the chair and slide them back, releasing your arms alongside, placing your hands alongside your hips. Let your shoulders roll back and down, coming into Dandasana staff pose and breathe. Let your chin release toward your chest. Go ahead and take a pause here. Draw the flesh away from the sit bones to recreate the natural curve of the lumbar spine. Come back to center. A couple more rounds of breath here. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can go ahead and move that chair out of the way. Come into a nice quad stretch here. We're going to be using a block. Now, if you are more flexible, you have the option to omit the block, and you can stack it up as high as you need to. If you don't have a block, you could use a pillow or a folded blanket to add a little bit of elevation. So if this completely doesn't work for you, then you can just find a position that works for your lower body. We're going to be working with the upper body again, both with this. So if you have a block, great. If you don't, then try using a pillow or a folded blanket if that does work. And we're going to be using that to add a little bit of elevation to the body. I'll show you. So if you have that, We're going to start by placing the block like so. We're going to walk in front of the block. We're going to bring the knees together, place the hands on the quad, on the calf muscle, and roll them out of the way, and then come into a seated position in between the heels. So this is where we'll be. Again, if you don't have the option to use a block or anything like that, then you can just omit this part of the lower body. Come into a position that feels good in your lower body. So that's an option. If you are more flexible and you want to come all the way down without a block, she'll do the same thing. Knees come together, hands on the calf muscles, roll the calf muscles out of the way, and just come into seated in between the heels. So either one is fine. Go into the space that feels good to you. We're going to revisit some of those upper body stretches here in just a moment. So find the lower body. And again, if this doesn't work for you, come into a space that does work. Hands are lightly placed on the knees, shoulders are rolling back and down, and breathe. So a really nice quad stretch here if you're really feeling that. You can add a little bit of massage to your body to help encourage that release. Give yourself some time to find this. If it just doesn't feel good to you today, then again, you can come out of that. But part of the yin practice is going through those times where you feel like you just can't hold it any longer. And then there's a point where your body goes and just releases into it. And then you feel that beautiful nirvana of the pose. And begin to bring the upper body into this now. So release your arms to the side. We're going to come into eagle arms. Inhale the arms up overhead. As you exhale, begin to wrap the right arm under the left, either placing the hands on the shoulders or again, bringing the back of the hands together. Elbows and knees in one long line, right in the midline, and breathe. Intensify this by drawing the fingertips closer out toward the ceiling, and breathe. Mindfully begin to release the elbows down, and you can round slightly. The upper body. Let the fingers move straight or down toward your mat. Head, neck, and shoulders nice and soft. Inhale brings us right back to center and release. Arms up overhead. Take a pause here. Reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling as the shoulders melt down your back. Exhale, release. Left arm wraps under right. Place the hands on the shoulders or bringing the back of the hands together once again. Fingertips reach up toward the ceiling, elbows, fingertips, elbows, and knees in one line right in the midline. Good. And intensify as you need to, drawing the fingertips closer up toward the ceiling, finding that just right space, and breathe. Inhale, and as you exhale, elbows draw toward the navel, slight rounding of the upper body, letting your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Inhale brings us right back to center. Mindfully release, arms up overhead. Take a pause here. Palm to palm compression as the fingertips reach away from the shoulders melting down your back. And release heart space. Option here to move deeper if you choose to. So if you've been able to manage to come off your hike and you're just seated right in between the heels, option to bring your what are these things? They're palms to the soles of the feet. Let your shoulders roll back and down. If that's feeling pretty stable for you, option here to begin to come down to your elbows. Trying to keep the knees together as much as you're able. Option here to take it all the way down to your mat. Bring the arms up overhead, grab onto the left wrist with the right arm, and take a nice long stretch. And breathe. I just got a bunch of adjustment in my spine. That felt good. And then grab onto the right wrist, stretch up, and breathe. Counting down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come out of this posture. That's the tricky part. Come to your elbows. Press your elbows into the mat. We're going to take it right here. And then begin to place your hands on your mat and walk right back to center. We'll go ahead and release those legs. Coming into a nice bend. You can go ahead and stretch those legs out if you need to. Have your chair handy. We may come into this as our final shavasana if you want to do it that way. So when you're ready, coming down onto your your mat however you need to. Bring the arms out in front, palms face each other. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, rolling down on the spine, one vertebra at a time. Bring the arms up overhead. Stretch long with the fingers and the toes. Good morning, body. It is a Saturday and I feel absolutely amazing. I have stretched out my body. I've let go of everything that doesn't serve me, and I am so ready to have the most amazing day of my life. One more long stretch here. And then bend those knees and draw them into the body. Create a little movement from side to side, or front to back, whatever feels really good to you. You can make a nice tight ball if you want to. You can rock forward, backward, or side to side. So as we come to the closure of your yin chair practice, if there's any movement you didn't receive and you'd like to go ahead and find that movement, maybe it's placing the feet mat distance apart and moving through windshield viper from side to side, a really nice way to open up and release the low back. Maybe taking another twist. Maybe coming into a bridge pose, or maybe even coming into a wheel pose if you want a little bit more. So again, your practice is entirely up to you, whatever you choose to do. And then when you've moved your body as much as you feel that you need to, option to take a traditional Shavasana, or you can use the legs on the chair for a variation of Viparita Karani legs on the chair or legs at the wall. So if you choose to do that, you just begin to swing one leg and then the other on your chair. If you don't have cushioning on your chair, I would recommend putting a blanket on there and then maybe having a blanket underneath the tailbone if you do have a tender tailbone. So for those of you coming into your Shavasana, be it on the chair or on your back or on your belly at your side, however you choose to end your practice, take a moment here and breathe. Go ahead and place one hand on the abdomen and one hand on the heart. As you place that hand on the heart, begin to feel the beating of your heart. Love, kindness, and compassion for yourself and others. And as you really resonate, connect with that beating of your heart, that beautiful space in the body, begin to feel the energy from it. Love, kindness, compassion, powerful words, but not just words. Part of what makes us the amazing humans that we are. Let that space grow. Love, kindness, compassion. As you breathe in love, kindness, and compassion, send it out with a ripple of goodness out into the world. Breathe in love, kindness, and compassion, and breathe out love, kindness, and compassion. Placing your hands on the lower abdomen, begin to direct your breath a little deeper into the base of the lungs. As you breathe, breathe from side to side, front to back, and top to bottom as you breathe from the tailbone up to the heart space. Love, kindness, and compassion for yourself, and as you release the breath, sharing it with the world. So just moving through a few rounds of guided breath, breathing in, and sharing that beautiful energy with the world. One person at a time does make a difference. Be the difference. And then maybe switch, seeing how that feels differently in your body. Breathing from the lower abdominals, breathing from the base of the spine up to the heart space. And release it out. Keep that breath flowing, slow and deep. And as you come into this quiet space of reflection, know that you have arrived in the most beautiful, perfect space, Shavasana. Taking time here to get back to your body. If you'd like to, in your mind's eye, begin to recite your intention over and over and over again. Let it infuse every cell, every organ, every tissue with the power and the positivity of that intention. Feel the tingle from the tip of the toes to the crown of the head as you revitalize the body, one breath at a time. Breathe in and release it out, let it go. 5 more rounds of breath. Breathe it in, release it out, let it go. Last 3, last 2, Last breath. Go ahead and bring, if you are using the chair, you can bring the soles of the feet to the chair, and then let your knees fall out to the side, coming into variation of bound ankle. Sole to sole, soles of the feet come together, knees gently fall out to the side. Make a triangular shaped space with your hands and go ahead and place it on your sacral area. So on the lower abdominals, just below the navel. Breathe in, breathe it out. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Breathe it in, and slowly release it. Draw the knees together. Let your knees fall to the right. Let your gaze fall to the left. Inhale to center, let your knees fall to the left. Let your gaze fall to the right. One more time on each side. Inhale to center, knees fall to the right, gaze falls to the left. Inhale to center, knees fall to the left, gaze falls to the right. And wherever you are in your practice, take a pause here, roll onto your favorite side, and then begin to bring yourself into an upright position when you're ready. If there's any space in your body that didn't get the attention it needed, go ahead and give your body the attention it needs. Allow the shoulders to roll back and down. Once you've done that, let your palms rotate outward, taking in all the beautiful energy that we've created in our practice today. Take a nice soft inhale, draw the arms up overhead. Again, reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling, let your shoulders melt down your back. And as you exhale, bring out that goodness to heart space. Bow the chin to the heart, soften through the eyes, and repeat your attention to yourself. Feel the beating of your heart, love, kindness, and compassion for yourself and others. Allow the corners of the mouth to turn up in a smile. And begin to feel the lightness, the laughter, the love, the pure and simple joy of being alive. Inhale, begin to bring your gaze to center. Begin to softly open the eyes. From my heart to yours, from my light to yours, yogis. Namaste. If you'd like to unmute and say goodbye, this is the end of your yin practice. I don't know how you feel, but I feel spectacular. So hopefully you can carry all that goodness to you throughout your day and share that with others along the way.